Right, so I'm going to show you the 3 methods that I used, or 3 strategies rather, that I used in order to get my first 500 subscribers on this YouTube channel. So we're going to be going over things like thumbnails and keywords. We're also going to talk a little bit about analytics and why it's really important and where you can find some really useful data in there with regards to what videos you perhaps should make. And also we're going to cover some of the old sort of more traditional methods, about things like, asking for shout outs, perhaps leaving it in email signatures, and, simple things like that. So we're going to cover all that. I think that was slightly more than 3. But anyway, let's jump over to the computer and we'll take a look. Okay, so here we are inside my channel. And the number one, the first thing, the obvious thing really to say is you've got to make videos. Simple as that. It sounds pretty obvious, but it's very unusual for somebody to kind of make 1 or 2 videos straight out of the blocks and instantly get a load of subscribers. Sure, you'll be able to ask a load of people and get friends and family to sub in, but are they really your audience? No, they're not. So I don't really worry about the stats. Don't really worry about the stats, number one. And then just start making some videos, because the first sort of handful of videos that you're going to make, then you're not really going to know really what kind of works and what doesn't. And I still get, a load of videos which don't really do that well. Some get nothing, 36 views, and then some 15,000 views. So, and I'm going to go into a little bit as to what I think that is in a minute. But so the number one, you have to make some content. Okay, don't give up after the first 2 or 3. So keep going. And the second point I wanted to make while I'm in here is thumbnails. So I know mine aren't the best, but they are better than what I have, some other ones that I've seen. And I guess the point really is you want to kind of make something that kind of stands out or tries to sort of, get that click, if you like. Because in the early days, you're competing with a lot of, already established channels, and your sort of click-through rate, if you like, is really important. So this is how. So if I pull up a video here, and I'll show you what I mean. So if I just open this one and we go into the analytics. So inside analytics, there's quite a lot of detail in here which you can gauge some really good info from. But if you look at, so this particular video here, if you go into reach, it shows you what the impressions click-through rate is. So this is currently at 14.6%. Now I think that's good enough for me. I'm happy with that. Anything kind of over 10%, I'm sort of happy with. So that means that every time it's shown, it's got a 14.6% chance of someone actually clicking on it. Okay, and you can also, so that's the kind of first phase, if you like. So number one is to really work on thumbnails and kind of measure them. So go into your analytics and have a look. And if they're not working or performing, then you can change the thumbnail. That's fine. So that's the first thing. So the second thing, like I mentioned, is this. So go into video analytics. If you go to overview, gives you an ideal time of, it tells you all its views and watch time and how many subscribers it's got and this, that and the other. And then you've got all this, which tells you your drift. So this is the watch time, which tells you when the people, how often people's sort of retention rate. So how long they're hanging around for. Virtually every video is going to go down. So yeah, you can get some kind of ideas from that. And this is what we just talked about a minute ago. So reach. So you can see here where your video is coming from. So in this particular case, it's coming from YouTube search, which is really, really interesting for me, because that means that people are actually searching for this particular video that's solving their problem, which I like that. That's good. Not all your videos are going to do that, but, you know, obviously a lot of them will, and I'll go into some sort of methods in which you can help with that in a minute. So that's, you know, a good thing. And then if you go down here, it tells you, so it's also ranking on Google here. It's been shared in Facebook groups, obviously WhatsApp. I haven't done that, so that's other people. And then there you go. There's some more sort of traffic, if you like. And then it tells you here some keywords that perhaps is ranking for it. So in this case, this is all about WordPress. So there's a good idea, like WordPress without hosting. So that's probably quite a good indicator as to what the keyword is that's bringing in some of the traffic. So you can look at this and you might sort of think, well, maybe if this works, then I could kind of make some more videos around this. So if we go back to my channel, so there's that video, 15,000 views. So if we go back and just have a look at some other ones, so this is all about WordPress. So then I built another one, which is all about WordPress page building and stuff like that. That got 1,000 views. I then did a follow-up to that one, which got 500 views. So nothing amazing, but it kind of all links together. So the people that watch that, some of them will then go on and watch that, and, you know, and so on and so forth. So it does help in that way with regards to bringing in subscribers. So if we have a look at this video again, and I'll show you exactly what I mean when it comes to things like keywords and ranking. So here are the tags that you have to put in. I mean, this is another good point, another interesting point actually. It's not just about literally making the video. That's the first part. Obviously the video and the thumbnail are very important, but there's also a hell of a lot of other stuff that goes on in the background. So if we look at, for example, this, I've put the description here. So in this particular keyword, how to build a website without hosting, I mean, this was back in 2020. I've put it in there, and I've also included it in there. And also on the tags, if we look down here, I've put it in there. And if we show the rankings, this is a sort of an add-on tool. It's called TubeBuddy. They do have a free version, so you might want to go and check that out. But you'll see, so they're ranking first for that. So when this was, you know, when people were searching for this in 2020, it was obviously a popular search term, and obviously it was bringing in traffic. The beauty of it is, even if they don't put the 2020 in, if you look at the top one there, just the sort of generic, because it's still relevant, it still pulls in some views that way. So that is also another really important thing. And that is setting up the sort of tags correctly, writing it in your description, and obviously you don't want to flood it with it, because that'll just flag as a you know, that's not a good idea. But just subtly drop it in. So yeah, so that's the first 2 points. Number one being the thumbnails, really important, and number two is the having a look in the analytics and sort of learning from that. Okay, so in the final kind of tip, if you like, which I don't really like doing this, but, you know, it helped me because I wanted to get to 500 before the end of the year. So my final tip was basically to just ask people, you know, and the beauty of this is my own Facebook group. So everyone in this group is, they're kind of interested in side hustles and side income streams and everything like that. So they're all relevant, and they're all, they will find the channel useful. So they're not just like complete random strangers, or like, you know, your auntie, or, you know, your grandmother or something like that. These are genuine people that will be interested in hopefully what I've got to share anyway. So I just pitched it in there and just said, look, there's anyone, you know, if you haven't checked it out already, would you mind subbing in? and thankfully a load of people did. And another thing I did was I put it on the bottom of my emails. So whenever I send out an email to members that are on the email list, I just put it on the bottom of there in the signature, and that brought another few in. So there you go. So that's it really. So just to sort of recap, number one, you have to obviously make some videos. That does help. And then when you make videos, you will then start getting analytical data, which you can go into YouTube Studio, and there's a whole load of stuff in there which tells you, you know, what videos are working, what thumbnails are working, what keywords you're ranking for, and so on and so forth. The third point is obviously keywords and descriptions. So make sure you fill out them and put some good relevant tags in to give you the best chance of actually ranking. And then the final point really, which is just go out and ask, and there you go. So that is basically how I got my first 500 subscribers. So yeah, I hope that's helped. I hope that's given you a little bit of insight. This is kind of small channel stuff, you know. These guys that have got millions, you know, they don't have to worry about this, but this is kind of like the small channel stuff. This is what I've done. Obviously a load of other people are going to do this, and it isn't maybe going to work, and some people are going to do it and they're going to get, you know, 10,000 subscribers, you know, in the first few months and blow this out of the water. But that's the nature of it. I mean, it's a very kind of up and down platform. I'm still learning, you know, little tricks of the trade with it, but, you know, really enjoying it. Hopefully you are too, and I hope that's helped. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.